Look, he started to slow down in the 4th and 5th round. I told him he had to pick up the pace. It's a 10-round fight. There's no time to lose. And pushed him hard in the 7th, 8th, 9th, and we got the knockout.
We're going to get back to that, Joe, as we get here. We're underway here. Caleb Plant aggressive in the opening seconds against Dirrell. Be nice to see an aggressive Caleb Plant, fellas.
Well, listen, he's with Stephen Edwards, the bread man, and a new trainer, and he spent a lot of time in the ring, and that's the key. You know, Breadman told me, he said he found out that Caleb Plant didn't spar a lot, and he triple-timed it with him, and he said he was a different. Oh, look, it's getting rough already.
Dirrell gets him in a headlock. Harvey Dock breaks them up.
Yeah. Anyway, Brian, the point is that he said Caleb Plant is going to be a different fighter in this fight.
He looks like that already, aggressive. But, you know, again, Dirrell, his nickname is Dog. So he's going to fight you like a dog in there, and he just did. Nice jab to the body from Plant. You know, Plant has always impressed me, Lennox, with his ring IQ. I always thought with more experience, he would get better and better. He was obviously world-class and a world title holder, but there could be a great second act here in store for Caleb Plant.
Oh, yeah. He's, you know, there's good things when you lose sometimes. You learn a lot, and you gain a lot from that loss. And he's gained another trainer and more moves, so this is a great fight for him to come back in.
He was boxing very well against Canelo Alvarez, winning rounds. He led on connects 33-27 through 3 rounds and was out jabbing Canelo, but Canelo stayed patient and steady. You know, #1 in the world pound for pound. At least he was at the time. He caught Plant in the 11th, put him down twice for a stoppage. Dirrell, as we mentioned, has real power, and you can see the experience already. He's not going to get flustered by an early attack.
And both fighters are getting used to each other, especially Caleb, because, you know, first time with Dirrell, and Dirrell's got a different energy and a different rhythm going on, so he's got to figure out that rhythm first.
He's got a different rhythm, but, you know, they have similar styles. They leave the left hand low. They like to roll and go. They're counter punchers. You know, right there, you touch Dirrell, he's gonna touch you back. So, just earlier in the stanza, I saw Caleb Plant throw a left hook and miss it, and then Dirrell whipped a punch, and let me tell you, it looked really hard. It looked like a knockout punch. So they're both sharp guys, and they're going to get closer and closer, and they're going to start touching each other more and more like that. And like that.
Right hand from Dirrell. Another right hand lands on Plant. Plant's still sturdy on his feet, but they touched him.
Quick, I'm here. Quick, clean. Clean when I say break.
You know, Harvey Dock, you know, to Dirrell's, you know, defense there, he said keep it clean, but he didn't tell him to break until after he threw that shot. He's like, I'm here, I'm here. Well, that doesn't mean stop punching. You know what means stop punching? Stop punching. Right, thank you, Lennox. Let's go to Heidi Androl.
Thank you very much, Brian. Well, gearing up for Halloween, Caleb Plant is dressed for the part. He enlisted the help of the shoe surgeon in Los Angeles to recreate the rarest horror shoe, the greatest horror shoe of all time, and arguably the most expensive shoe out there. That's the Freddy Krueger SP Dunks. You see those on the right. He had them recreated to be fit for boxing for this fight in particular. And he told me that his shoe obsession actually comes from being a kid who didn't have any new shoes. In fact, he told me that they always had holes in them. He would run holes into his socks when he would do his road work. It wasn't until he trained with a pro for the first time, they went out and he actually bought Caleb a pair of brand new shoes. That was the first time for him. Don't worry, he's made up for it now. He's got over 100 rare pairs of sneakers in his house today. Guys, back to you.
Heidi, thank you. I think that qualifies for a shoe obsession. You saw it in the corner, by the way. Caleb's father, Richie, is still there in the corner. And the new trainer, Stephen Edwards, replacing Justin Gamber, his longtime trainer. So a change after his first professional loss. And we're in round number 2. Yep, so summarize, what did we learn in the first round, fellas? There was a lot going on.
Well, we learned that by the end of the round, they had stopped feeling each other out and started throwing some wicked shots. Plant landed a hook, and then Dirrell landed a counter right hand. So they both got a good look in before the round ended. And it's just going to pick up steam as we go along. We got 12 rounds here, so they're going to take their time, most likely.
It will be interesting, too. You can see right in the middle of between the two fighters there, now to the right of Dirrell, that's Steve Weisfeld, one of the top judges in the world. And so if it goes down to a decision, it should be very well judged. Larry Hazard is with us, our unofficial judge, and Huff scoring 2. Plant able to land there with the jab. Again, again, an interesting matchup, and I think Dirrell's credit, he's put himself back in the championship equation.
Yeah, he's so smart. Plant threw a right hand right at him, and Dirrell automatically touched back with his own right hand. He's a great counterpuncher. Both of these guys are good counterpunchers, and they like to lead with that quick left hook too sometimes. Like that, well, you saw how that he tried to counter the jab, Lennox, right there off of Plant with that hook. Dirrell, that's smart stuff. It's hard to teach, and it's hard to pull the trigger on that.
Plant's doing the right thing though. He's mixing up the jab, sometimes to the head, sometimes to the body.
Did it both times there, Lennox too. Ate a right hand from Dirrell.
But then Plant came back with his own right hand left hook. So he's looking to even it up. When they get touched, they play a lot of tags, hard tag.
You're right, Joe. Nice exchanges there from both fighters. Just as you were saying, that Plant landed a right hand to the body. So there's a lot of action going on here. Will be difficult to score and judge. We expect good competitive rounds here. We're getting them so far. Good action. We saw Anthony Dirrell on Fox against Kyron Davis. Got a draw in February of 2021. At that point, I thought, all right, maybe Dirrell is not going to be championship timber anymore.
Sometimes, Brian, you train to your opponent, and I don't know how hard. I'm sure he gave Kyron Davis, plenty of, training. But I think for this particular fight, he instead of 100%, he gave 120% at camp. Dirrell.
Oh yeah, you can see it on Dirrell's stomach. He's ready. He's in shape.
A little more inspired.
Yes.
Plant trying with the hook. Dirrell blocking that.
I got to tell you, Plant's body looks entirely different from the last couple of years that I've seen him. Would you agree, Len?
Yeah, he's in shape. This is a serious fight for him. And he works hard in the gym. He's so serious in the gym. He's locked in. He works like 110%.
120?
Technically, you can only go to 100, but I was going to let all that slide. We're in the semifinal. The main event is coming up next. Deontay Wilder, the return of the former heavyweight champion of the world, stretching out. All 6'7" of them. Two large men in the ring tonight.
It's kind of hard to believe Deontay Wilder's only 214 pounds because when you stand next to him, he looks like he's 250, doesn't he?
He's an enormous, yeah. He is one of those fighters that can fluctuate weight, and there's the Nordic Nightmare. Comes in 253 pounds. And he's a guy who physically, mentally has reached another level late in his career.
Yeah, and you know how he explained it, what he did, Brian, right?
Yeah.
Well, tell me.
You want to tell him?
Let's see if
he said he changed his training camp.
Right.
He also changed his diet. And he went to the food of his Nordic ancestors.
Right.
Which is meat, eggs.
Exactly.
No carbs.
You can explain it better than I.
Is that paleo diet, whatever it is? But again, he is on the Åland Islands between Finland and Sweden. He said, this is how my ancestors ate.
Right.
And it has worked for Hellenius. Here we go, round number 3. Caleb Plant outlanding Anthony Dirrell so far, but it's been very competitive, very close. With a right hand to the body from Plant.
You see Dirrell trying to hook off everything. If he catches your jab, he's hooking. If you throw a right hand to his body, he's hooking. He tries to catch you with that counter hook.
He's watching and analyzing as he boxes.
Yeah.
Look at the body shot discrepancy there. We saw it up there, 18-2. Right, so that's where there is a difference between the two fighters. Plant, point of emphasis, Joe, landing to the body.
Well, he's landing that right hand that will, although, like I said, the threat of that left hook is always there. Nice slide. Oh, boy, that's a little rough. Harvey Doc's not going to put up with much of that much longer.
You hit him behind the head. Don't hit him behind the head. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Let's go.
Harvey Doc with the right move there, because you're right. I think you sensed that, Joe. He was getting a little rough unnecessarily there. You can't throw your elbow at a man's head when you're clinching.
Yeah, I mean,
no forearm shivers.
There's a lot of bad blood between these guys at the press conferences at the weigh-in.
Nice jab. Combination. Look at Plant letting his hands fly now. A little quicker. See, that's the thing. For the rough stuff, it's like you've got 12 rounds to punch each other. There's plenty of time to get the animosity out. I don't like this guy. Hey, punch him in the head.
Well, he doesn't like him, and he doesn't think his punches are anything, because every time Caleb throws a punch and hits him, he's like, wow, what was that? That's nothing. So Caleb needs to do something to get his attention and, get him concerned.
And at the same time, Lennox, after a while, if a guy keeps shaking his head, it's like, well, you're getting touched. You're getting hit. These are points being scored. The counter there was pretty quick from Dirrell.
Yeah, it was. A little left hook right hand. It was really sharp and sweet. They're both landing. They're both touching each other right now. The one who's going to get clipped on the chin hard first is
hook on the inside, and then down goes Plant. And Dirrell forcing him down as he kept on going.
Also landed on top of him.
Actually hit Plant while he was sitting on top of him. When you watch the replay, he comes down with a hammer right hand on him.
Dirrell definitely fighting rough so far. Trying to take advantage at any opportunity. We'll take a look at that again at the end of this round. I see what you're saying, Joe. Exactly. He didn't have to land on him like that.
And well, you'll see he brings the hammer on.
Harvey Dock has been on top of it. And again, if you keep warning a guy, eventually a point can be taken away. That was pretty close there, but we'll see exactly how Plant went down.
All right, this is a replay. I think it's going to be where they got roughed in the corner. There's a little headlock, a little push, and now push down, and boom. Oh, he came down with that right hand. Wasn't as hard as it looked live, but yeah, he got roughed. Let's see what happens here on the other angle. Plant's going to go on his back, and yeah, he raised his hand like he was going to come down hard, but he didn't. Yeah, nevertheless, it's really rough in there, right?
A little more than this was necessary, right? Once again, for the second time. So far, Caleb Plant showing pretty good defense. Harvey Dock telling Stephen Edwards, hey, I warned him. Again, you want to let Joe, you just in a corner. As a corner man, you want to know, hey, you're taking care of things, right? Like, are you going to make my guy hit him low? Are you going to make my guy do anything?
Oh, I'm going to have that conversation, right, for sure, without a doubt.
So I think Harvey Dock did a good job assuring the corner of Plant, like, no, I've got this. Don't tell your guy to take it into his own hands. Round number 4 scheduled for 12. Caleb Plant has landed 10 or more punches every round. Dirrell has yet to land 10 in a single round.
Nice.
See the discrepancy right there in the punches landed as Plant picks it up. Caleb Plant's hands are very fast when he gets it going.
Quick. Both guys are quick. Right there on that last exchange. Plant through the right hand, left hook. But the left hook was blocked by a very secure right hand next to Dirrell's chin. So, oh, look, here we go again.
Carries him into the ropes.
Maybe there's a case to be made for, trying to be friendly towards your opponent leading up to a fight, because this is a big carryover from what went on for the previous month.
Yeah,
a lot of animosity.
A lot of animosity, a lot of energy in the wrong way.
I agree, Lennox. There's a point, and again, there's a point where if a judge sees it again, you will get a warning normally, and then you will get a point. And in a fight like this, that could cost you quite a bit. I don't know how wide it's going to be.
In this situation, a lot of little things add up, and you get the referee mad. Like, yo, I told this guy. Why does he keep on doing it? I'm going to take a point away. I like how Dirrell picks his moments where he, charges at Caleb and gets him against the round and starts throwing a whole bunch of punches.
Exploding on him.
Yeah.
Right. And Dirrell debuted in 2005 when Caleb Plant was 14. Again, he's only 8 years older, but he's been around a long time. Won a title in 2013, beat Sakio Bika. Remember Sakio Bika? Won a belt at 168, lost it in his first title defense to Badu Jack. And then won 6 in a row before running into a bigger and younger David Benavidez, and that was not close. That was just one bad loss in his career.
And it goes to show you how good Benavidez is, because he kind of dominated that fight.
He did. It looked like it was a different weight class.
Yeah.
Good test here for Caleb Plant, though. You can see he's got to work very hard to get ahead in these rounds.
See, Dirrell's going to do that every single time. He gets in, they get close, they bump shoulders, and Dirrell will just kind of inch back a little bit and drop a right hand on Plant's ear. And he's done that like 5-6 times tonight already. And then Plant tried to return it just now.
You know why that? Because when Plant's in close, he drops his left hand. Well, and Dirrell knows that, especially coming out of a clinch.
Yeah, but you feel safe when you're snuggled in tight right there, and then what Dirrell does is he just draws back a little bit and gives himself some room.
Good counter shot there by Dirrell.
Yeah, it was.
Plant jumped in.
with his left hand down.
Yeah, usually a little more defensively responsible. Again, he is lightning fast, but Dirrell, a veteran, has good timing on the way in and sees the threat in front of him. However, though, we've seen some unnecessary tactics in this fight from Dirrell. Joe, take us through.
Yeah. Well, here's the beginning right there. So Dirrell's got his arm wrapped around him and then hit him on the waistline right there with a little shot while Harvey Doc was trying to break him. Now, Dirrell, you know, when he overshot the runway, leaned on top of him, on top of Plant. And there's that little thing that he's doing. Plant's got his arm wrapped around Dirrell, and Dirrell just draws back a little bit and chops at him. And here's the one where he whips around into the corner, puts him on his back. He's thinking about dropping a hammer on him, but he doesn't. But kind of puts his knees into his chest. This has been rough all night. Now here's a little wrestling match here. Arm wrapped around each other, and they're both looking at each other. And there's that little left hook right hand that Dirrell landed just a few seconds ago. Boy, this is rough. This is good stuff, and it's really lightning fast. These guys both got quick hands.
Back in round number 5 now, Caleb Plant in the, I guess you call it beige trunks. And it's Anthony Dirrell in the red and white. Caleb Plant with the a wider margin now and punches landed. Oh! Drives Dirrell back. Off balance after eating a shot.
He was off balance, but it was a good shot nonetheless.
See if Plant can establish himself a little more. Again, you see an inkling of it here and there, where he's able to throw better exchanges and better combinations than Dirrell, but Dirrell able to pick him off and get rough on the inside and explode, as Lennox was saying before.
There's Dirrell feinting, showing his experience. This is what you're supposed to do against a guy that's quick and moves fast.
You know, these guys both have great defense, even though they kind of play it, you know, with the hand down a little bit. But they're so athletic and so quick. Nobody's really landed that big shot. We're in the 5th round right now. You know what I mean? Nobody's landed that big shot. That's how hard they are to hit. Their defense is so good, even when they're winging them at lightning speed.
All right, we're only in the 5th round, but let's get an indication of how this fight could be getting scored. Let's go to Larry Hazard. Larry?
Well, right now, guys, I got Plant ahead, 39-37. The problem with Dirrell, the first 3 rounds, he gave him away because he let his emotions get the best of him. You know, he wanted to make the street brawl. And Caleb took those rounds. I gave Dirrell round 4. Right now, I got Plant ahead, 39-37.
All right, Larry, thank you. Again, it will be a
Look at that.
it'll be a competitive fight. You see the forearm on the back of the neck. Yep. Dirrell will not let that opportunity pass. Now Plant jumps in.
Yeah, Plant jumped in with the hook, and then Dirrell countered with the hook, and Plant had that right hand solidly next to his chin. That's what I'm saying. They're avoiding getting hit with the big counter punch because their defense is so good.
Right, a lot of experience here. And look, we know, look, we're not appalled by the tactics. The old expression is, it ain't tea with the queen.
No.
Like, we know that. At the same time, look, you can show aggression in a lot of ways that you don't have to do that. It's an aggression sport.
Yeah, and look, when they start muscling each other like Dirrell's trying to muscle him with the forearm down, you're going to get away with a certain amount of that. Good hooks.
That hook landed from Plant. Dirrell says, I'm all right, but you know what? It's a scoring shot, and it drove him back.
And you know, wrestling takes a lot of energy out of you as well. You know, so Caleb's doing the right thing. He's not wasting his energy in wrestling.
He jumps right back in there, and Harvey Doc, good for him because he saw that elbow being thrown by Dirrell. Look, that is flat out illegal. Right hand from Dirrell, and another one now. Plant on the move.
But Plant really put on some good moves to get away from the rest of the punches. Yeah, he got hit with the first initial punch, but man, slid off the ropes nice.
We've got action.
I want you to do one thing for me. On the inside. Tighten that motherfucker up some more. Get it up high. You're going to be much faster, just like your blast. All right? And keep finishing the shot with the hooks. Keep going that way. We've been working on this with Daniel. Get your breathing. You see him getting frustrated. Keep holding. You get your timing on it. But you got for them 3 punches for the timing, Anthony. You got for those 3 punches for the timing. They don't got to hit him. I You gotta go like this. Bang, bang, bang. Just, you gotta see his rhythm on the shot.
Javon Sugar-Hill in the corner there with Anthony Dirrell. That was an interesting round, fellas. A lot going on.
Starting to heat up right now. There's that big hook that Plant landed.
That was a good shot in the fight. By the way, Dirrell outlanded Plant in that round 11-10. So look at that. That was pretty close. Although Plant seemed to get the harder shots in.
Yeah, but Dirrell had two great flurries against Plant there after Plant landed that left hook.
I'm glad you threw it in, Joe, because right, there's a lot to process. It's not easy to judge. You're right. And you don't want to oversimplify it because, as I say many times, trying to judge a round, it's extremely subjective and sometimes near impossible.
Dirrell's playing the cat and mouse game. He wants Plant to come in so he can take advantage and counterpunch.
Good hard shots, though, by Plant on the way in. You can punish him. Look, there's a hook to the head and then body. Plant fighting a good fight. Sharp and aggressive.
It's a very dangerous game of chess they're playing right now because they're thinkers, they're very smart at what they're doing, and dangerous. They're very dangerous, both of these guys tonight. Look at that. I mean, it's just...
And this is why, if you're Caleb Plant, it really pays off to take on a guy like Dirrell, who, will give you immense experience if he wants to go on, as he calls it, his revenge tour and eventually get back in there with Canelo. You'll need a fight like this. You need to get better. You'll need to be better to beat someone at the very, very top. Canelo is still the world champion at 168 pounds, the undisputed champion.
I'll tell you what, if Plant was like this when he fought Canelo, it would be a whole nother ball.
Probably could have used that experience, Joe.
He was like this. I think he was... Later on in the fight, he just kind of diminished it a little bit.
Well, because I think the trainer's change was the big key right there. It really was.
I think, too, you speak to it. As Caleb actually told us, look, that's experience you can't get in the gym. Remember after the fight with Vincent Feigenbusch, which we called, he only faced one man in 19 months prior to the challenge of Canelo, and that was Caleb Truax, who was 37, past his prime. So this experience will help Caleb Plant enormously. He didn't quite have everything that he needed to go up and beat Canelo because he was fighting very well in that fight.
Tell you the truth, it looks like this. Caleb Plant looks like the best Caleb Plant I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And this looks like the best Dirrell I've seen in years.
Well, when you get two good fighters, you get a good fight.
Right. Dirrell doesn't look 38 here. He doesn't look like, okay, this is a guy who had a nice career. This is a payday. He looks more than that. You're right.
Yes, and I think they went to the mats for this one in training. They really did. I think they both probably trained as hard, if not harder, than at any other time in their career.
I thought you were going to say they went to the mattresses. It would have been much of a surprise.
That's short of the mattresses. Okay?
We're not in New Jersey.
What the heck?
What is Dirrell doing? All right.
They're making a muck of each other.
I guess so. As if to say, I'm so scared. All right. Well, he's got the Freddy Krueger shoes. Main event is coming up next. Deontay Wilder, Robert Helenius. I guarantee you we won't see Helenius doing a move like that. He can't move that way.
Let's hope not.
Deontay, though, said he was inspired to come back to his career when he saw the statue erected for him in his hometown of Tuscaloosa, saying, how about this? For a black man in the Dixie South, I am honored like this. And he saw the outpouring from the community and people that loved him and were inspired by him. He said, I need to come back. And he sounded like, Joe, I don't think you've weighed in on this. He seems like a guy who is properly energized and rejuvenated.
Yeah, I think it's kind of following the pattern on what's going on in this fight here. These guys are rejuvenated, and I know Deontay Wilder. I know who worked with him and how hard he worked. Just his attitude alone is different. He's very confident.
Let's go. Here we go.
Here's Caleb Plant coming over to talk to us for a second.
What did he say to you, Lennox?
I didn't hear him because my headphones were on. I thought he said, how he's going? And I said, good.
Harvey Dock had to clear some things out of the ring there for a moment. Caleb came over to our corner. Took a look at Lennox. Nice counter hook there by Caleb Plant. I didn't know if Deontay Wilder was going to come back after that savage beating. And look, it was a savage beating on both sides. He knocked Fury down as well. Right. But I thought, all right, a guy that's made that type of dough, maybe he steps away. I think it's terrific to have Deontay Wilder back in the sport.
Yeah, great for boxing.
But Lennox, I mean, you'd know better than anybody. The bottom line is that when you still feel young, strong, and athletic, that, you know, it's not easy just to hang him up.
No, it isn't. Plus, you know, he's got a new way on life.
Yeah.
You know, he's energized. He's feeling good. He knows what he wants to do. He's changed his training camp. He's doing different things. He's experimenting. So this is great.
Yeah, I think he bought into a whole new process with Malik Scott and Don House, a very underrated trainer himself, Don House, out of Las Vegas. And I think we're going to see some special stuff tonight.
Good opening minute to this round, round number 7 from Caleb Plant. Fans in Brooklyn would like to see a little more action, a little less dancing. Caleb doing the old two-step. You know, Dirrell had said that, you know, Plant moves around a lot, he dances, he runs. I don't think that at all. You know, maybe he doesn't engage in, you know, all the time, but he doesn't run.
Keep it clean.
Now Dirrell's complaining?
Yeah, because Dirrell was pushing down on Plant's neck and Plant hit him in the thigh.
I'm just saying,
with
the gall of Dirrell to complain at this point, really, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on. You know, is it rough or is it not? You tell me. What are we doing here? The right hand there by Dirrell. Yeah, I have nothing against. I love Dirrell. I'm just saying, no, the way he's fighting, for him to go to the referee, he's got some nerve.
Right clean.
Harvey Doc is earning his dough tonight.
Oh, boy, I tell you.
Don't fight over me.
Dirrell.
Don't fight over me. Fellas, I'm not worth it. Don't fight over me.
Right.
That was clean.
Plant got under the left arm of Dirrell and spun around and was right behind him, and Harvey Doc was there to stop any further action. Nice little right hand by Plant right there. On the
Plant's using his speed well. Quickness is a good thing.
I don't know about you, but this is kind of a hard fight to judge, to tell you the truth. That's why I can't wait to hear what Professor Larry Hazard has to say.
I get the sense in most of these rounds, Caleb's getting the slight advantage, but it's not, you're right, it's not much. Then the CompuBox numbers do not show it's a wide margin either. Slight margin at best. We've done 7 rounds. Let's go to the corner. Caleb Plant with his new trainer, Stephen Edwards. And Caleb said he liked his analytical part of the game. He said he works well with his father. Let's listen into his corner.
Everything is nice and calm. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about the knockout. Worry about the win. Don't listen to this crowd. Do you hear me? Don't listen to this crowd. Keep boxing. Look at me. Fuck this crowd. We getting the win tonight. You hear me? Stay nice and smart. Everything looks great. Hey, don't worry about it. You can go all day. Good. Listen, he's down to a point where he wants to sucker punch you because he can't get off. So make sure you don't get greedy. Don't get greedy.
That's interesting. He does not want Caleb Plant to be baited into a war.
Right. You know,
that was a nice little, just a weave under the left hook came up with his left
what
hook.
the bread man said in the corner was correct.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about the win.
And the crowd is, of course, wanting action, but what they want is a W. All right, there's sportsmanship there, properly done by Caleb Plant. Ray Flores, what's happening over there in Dirrell's corner?
Well, Brian, there's a sense of urgency as Sugar Hill is telling Anthony Dirrell, you have to cut off the ring, attack the body, go through this man. You've got to be able to get in and use your up jab and attack the body. You have to go forward and run through him. Back to you, Brian.
Right, thank you. Joe Goosen, have you ever said to your fighter, hey, look, don't be listening to this crowd. Stop, just box. Have you done that?
Well, I don't think probably not more so, but I understand what he's saying because Plant, you know, came over to us and played around, so obviously he's distracted by certain things. That being said, I definitely told my fighters, just go for the win. Don't try to go for the knockout. Don't get suckered in to a slugfest right now.
Right.
Let's just get the win, beat him on points. And you know, there's a lot of intelligence to that statement from Stephen Edwards. I like that.
Everything Dirrell's been doing coming up to lead up to this fight was trying to get Caleb out of his game, trying to get him to fight him. It's not working. Caleb is staying on his game. using his speed, using his footwork, and piling up the points.
You know, I know the punches landed aren't everything, but body shots landed 50-11 in favor of Plant. Jabs landed 42-12 in favor of Plant, and Dirrell goes down again. Whoa, that's a nice flip. Easy. Pretty spry for a 38-year-old.
I tell you, this is one entertaining fight, whether there's a fight or not. It's
Let me tell you,
entertaining.
fellas, I can do that now at this age.
You can do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, I believe you're Lennox Lewis.
But
I believe you.
But you know what put Dirrell into that position? He turned southpaw for a minute, which is not his normal style. And Plant took advantage of that, spun him around, and just, basically abused him for a second.
Wow, look at that combination from Plant. Fast hands there.
Good combination, too. Dirrell tried to come back, but he missed.
We lost kind of the sight of that, but Joe, what do you think of that? 51-11. Body shots landed in favor of Plant. A little wider than I figured. But those are the stats.
Yeah, well, a lot of jabs in there, though.
Well, I'll tell you why, because Plant will bend at the knees more. He'll slip more. Dirrell's a taller fighter. He stays upright most of the time. And, he's so quick, he looks for the counter punches to the head. So that kind of makes sense to me. Plant will dip and slip more. And therefore, he's looking at the body a little bit more.
And to point, Lennox, the jabs landed also widely in favor of Caleb Plant. We'll look at that between rounds. We showed some of the rough stuff. And there's Jordan Plant.
She's happy, she's pleased. That means Caleb's doing well.
Both guys missed the hooks, and then Dirrell finally came back to the right hand. Look at that right hand by the Dirrell, and then Plant counter punches him with his right hand. There's a lot of rocking and rolling here, and here we go. Boom. That's the part where Dirrell has Plant on his back, and here we go. Nice jab. That knocked Dirrell off balance. Good double hook, but after that sequence, Dirrell had a couple of good sequences himself. There's a good left hook, right hand. But the one that landed solid was the first right hand. Plant used a lot of defense to get out of the way. There's the one where Plant rolled under the left hook and came back with the left hook. Here's where Dirrell goes left-handed, and he's awkward. So he's off balance there, and boom, there's the body slam by Plant. He got a little sweet revenge on him. I tell you, it's been one heck of a night.
It sounded like you were talking about a wrestling match.
I know, the WWE whatever.
Round number 9 scheduled for 12. It's going fast. A lot of action, lots of process here. Caleb Plant seemingly getting the better of it, but Dirrell very much in this fight. At least within the ring. Perhaps on the judges' scorecards, it'll be a different story.
Yeah, and Plant just had two good sessions right there. He just threw a 1-2 hook, and then a right hand jab. Ooh. And here comes Dirrell.
Yeah, Dirrell with the right hand.
To back up.
Plant tried to roll with that, but now he gets caught and they get tied up. Plant very cagey on the inside too, and if he got roughed up, he tied him up.
Yeah, Dirrell was hanging on his neck, and the referee, I told you, the referee warned him about that earlier, and he's still doing it, so he's got to watch out. He might get the point taken away.
They are yapping with each other in there, that's for sure.
What's amazing is the energy these guys putting out, not just fighting, but wrestling. And Dirrell at 37, is it? 38.
They're still talking, by the way, they're having a running conversation.
They haven't stopped for the last month, but I'm still amazed at the energy these guys have, especially Dirrell at 38.
The conversation just stopped. If it picks back up, let's listen. Oh, now they're quiet. Okay.
Well, of course.
Yeah. Lennox, all right, you tell me your experience. You ever talk to your opponent to that level?
Listen, if my opponent is talking to me, then I'm not punching him. And if he talks to me, then I know what to aim for.
Well,
his mouth.
Right. Now letting loose Caleb Plant. Nice combination.
Again, they're both winging good combinations, and one guy gets the advantage, and the other guy comes back to even it up. It's a real seesaw.
Is Dirrell doing enough to even it back up, though, Joe? You think?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
He needs to throw a lot more punches.
Well, I don't know if he's winning rounds. Again, close, spirited.
Yeah.
Let's go to Larry Hazard. Larry, how do you have it? You tell us how it's being scored.
I got Plant ahead, 78-74. Look, in a fight like this, guys, what the judges are going to do, they're going to score for the guy who's making the fight. Because there's not a whole lot of action, really. Pure boxing action going on. These guys are fighting more like street fighters. But Plant is the guy who's making the fight, and this is the way the judge is going to leave.
Larry, thank you. Last 3 rounds, Larry Hazzard giving it to Caleb Plant.
I knew the professor would straighten it out for us, Ryan, because that's about as accurate as I think anybody can sum it up.
Agreed. Oh! One shot! Down goes Dirrell!
Oh, my God.
It's over! Harvey Dock waves it off. Dirrell on his back.
Oh,
Caleb Plant with a one-shot knockout from a left hook.
That was a atrocious knockout.
No, don't do that, Caleb. Yeah, don't do that.
Caleb frustrated from the histrionics throughout, but you don't want that.
If I saw correctly, Plant threw a left hook to the body and then really came upstairs with a hard, short left hook, and that was that.
It was a fake to the body, left hook.
Wow, wow, wow.
What a terrific win for Caleb Plant with his new trainer. Unbelievable.
An emphatic win with power.
Look, I mean, Dirrell is really hurt right now. He's having a hard time just getting up in that stool with the help of a few people there. That's tough to look at right now, I got to tell you.
A lot of emotions in the ring right now.
And I'm sure, look, Caleb Plant is has shown exemplary sportsmanship throughout his career. There he did not. It's not a good look. I'm sure when he sees how Dirrell is, he'll feel differently. Dirrell is still, they're still trying to get him on his stool.
And you know, it's like I was saying earlier, Brian, nobody had really gotten hit with that big shot yet. And that was it.
That was quite an explosion.
Oh, my goodness.
A lot of frustration from Caleb Plant in the build-up.
Well, I got to tell you, like I said, it's the best Caleb Plant I had ever seen.
Yes,
he
for
proved
sure.
it tonight. The camp change, the trainer change was the key. The amount of sparring he did for this fight was double, quadruple time.
I'm glad to see Anthony Dirrell. His eyes looked clear, but he's still on shaky feet. You've got to sit him down and let him recover. Yeah, you see, there was frustration that had been built up in Caleb Plant, not just for the build-up, but during this fight, round by round, yapping at each other. So when he knocked out Dirrell emphatically, those emotions just spilled out of him.
And Dirrell may have done himself a disservice by being so emotional in this fight and really taking himself out of being a thinking man.
Which he normally is.
Which he normally
is that, Joe. You're right. So they kind of brought out the worst in each other, and yet, in the ring, that is a spectacular knockout win for the former world titleist.
He wanted Caleb to come to him and fight.
Poor Dirrell. Oh, I hate to see that.
Anthony Dirrell is up on his feet now. They're applying ice to his head, but he's standing up. I guess he wanted to stand up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's still on wobbly legs. Steven Edwards just came over to us, Brian. Yeah, I don't know if you saw him come over, but yeah.
Well, Charlo there. As watch, see this again. Body.
And then hook. Boom, there it was.
Good night.
Dirrell made a mistake there. He had that right hand down. It's the first time he did when that hook was coming. Here we go. Again, boom. But they both had their hands down. Plant had his up more so. Dirrell's had his chin was totally
And you know, Dirrell was coming up with his own hook as
exactly.
well.
That's what I'm saying. And watch. Plant gets his up a little bit more right at the end. But
both hooks coming, and Plant's was sharper. By the way, Anthony Dirrell had been knocked out only once, and that was a